All right, Molly, for more on this, former Centcom spokesman and retired Colonel Joe Buccino joins us now on set. Colonel, thank you for being here. Let's go right to the question about whether or not this administration is, as many have said, abandoning Israel or going soft on their firm stance. Joe, I want to play for you John Kirby, Admiral Kirby, talking about changes that they may need to make. Listen here.
The president made it clear that our policies with respect to Gaza will be dependent upon our assessment of how well the Israelis make changes and implement changes to make the situation in Gaza better for the Palestinian people.
So, as someone who understands this, how does Hamas interpret that message and that statement?
Well, it's unclear. You know, John Kirby's a great patriot, a great mentor of mine, but it's not clear what changes are being called for and what policy changes are on the table for the United States. We haven't exactly signaled to Israel what we're going to do, what our softening position is going to mean in terms of aid. In terms of the way Hamas views this right now, Hamas is going to the table here in Qatar for a possible negotiation, a hostage deal. And so this is kind of a critical moment right now. Hamas would look at this as like along this track of time, they have the upper hand. They have the superiority in terms of time because they can wait this thing out.
Let's talk about the strike on the World Central Kitchen. Jose Andreas, who founded that, is speaking out about the strike. Here's some of what he had to say.
This was not just a bad luck situation where, oops, we dropped the bomb in the wrong place. What I know is that we were targeted deliberately, non-stop, until everybody was dead in this convoy.
What do you make of that?
Well, he's right in the sense that the convoy was targeted. They thought it was Hamas operatives. Israel has obviously condemned this. They've apologized. They've taken action against the officers responsible. And what I make of it is that war is an ugly business, particularly this kind of war where you have millions of citizens on top of literally millions on top of each other. You've got Hamas taking hostages. You've got Hamas using citizens as human shields. It's a tough situation, terrible situation. If you remember, August 2021, we were withdrawing out of Afghanistan. We took a strike. The United States took a strike outside of Kabul, precision strike, killed 10 people. All of them were innocent. One of them was an aid worker, 7 children. And just consider, every American general involved in that operation has since been promoted. Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, he had no upward mobility. He's got a great retirement and sits on many boards. So, you know, it's maybe a little bit rich for us to go over the top in condemnation here when, you know, these awful things do happen in war.
Well, I'm glad you brought the 2021 Afghanistan incident up because that obviously wasn't a game changer in terms of our policy. But do you see this World Central Kitchen strike as a game changer insofar as watching the Biden administration sort of shift in their steadfast support of Israel?
I think it's a game changer in terms of the way the region, the Middle East, views this and views American support for Israel. So I think, you know, politically, you just had some political operatives, some political folks come on here and talk about this. I think politically, that's the way the White House is viewing this. I don't know that it's a game changer. I do not anticipate that we will restrict or place restrictions on weapons and aid to Israel going forward in this war.
This morning I was looking at Axios. Apparently former Speaker Nancy Pelosi now signing on to a letter with 37 Democrats that want to halt sending aid, weapons sales transfers to Israel. Do you think there's a bit of a growing fissure in Congress of supporting Israel?
There's definitely momentum, and started with Chuck Schumer, and I talked about the tract of time with Hamas. So the two men here, Netanyahu and Biden, I feel like their fates are tied together in this, and there's two opposite tracts of time. So Netanyahu, he wants this war to continue, okay, because as soon as this war is over, they're going to hold a snap election. Benny Gantz is already calling for it, and he'll be voted out of power. He's incredibly unpopular inside of Israel. On the other side of that, Biden needs this thing to end because his constituents, his voting blocs, they want us out. They want this thing to end. They don't want us clinging this tight to Israel.
Let's shift gears in the time we've got left, and that is Iran now vowing to potentially, what some reports said, going to retaliate with swarming drones and cruise missiles. Are we about to see a widening of the conflict there?
No. We've seen this before with Iran. They do not want a widening of the conflict. They know they have to respond. They know their credibility accounts for that. They know that their credibility relies on that. So I think they're going to use their proxies, Lebanese Hezbollah, to fire drones and rockets into northern Israel. And then I think they're going to try to call it good. They do not want a widening of this war.
John, just in the last 10 seconds I've got, I just want to show one quick thing, and that is the Centcom Defeat ISIS mission. We can show you on the screen here. You can see you've conducted 94 Defeat ISIS missions, killed 18 ISIS operatives. You actually started that. I started this. It's a monthly roll-up, and then every 3 months a roll-up. It's important for the reason I started that is get this out. It's important for the American people to know the reason we have hundreds of American troops in Syria is to defeat ISIS. ISIS remains a threat, as you saw in Moscow, and we have American troops in harm's way conducting those operations every day. It's a great thing for transparency as well, so the American people understand. Colonel Joe Buccino, thank you for coming in, and thanks for starting that. We'll use that in the media. Thanks so much, Griff. Thanks for having me. Have a good weekend.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.